So Atari actually made this nice little announcement. They're introducing the Atari 7800 Plus, which is basically a update of their Atari 7800, much like how the Atari 2600 Plus is an update of the old Atari 2600. And just like the Atari 2600 Plus, the 7800 Plus does the exact same thing. It does the exact same thing. It's the console. It's got this CX78 Plus wireless. It's now wireless gamepad, as opposed to the old joystick. Well, now they made a wireless joystick. I'm very shocked they got a wireless one. Can that work here? Let me see here. No. Give me description. How does this work? Because, look, ma, no wires. Authentic of the original, flexible. Can it be used? That's the question. Can it be used on the 2600? So it doesn't say if it could be used on the 2600. Yes, it does. It works with the original 2600 and 7800 hardware. Using an included D89 wireless adapter. You can even adapt. But then again, who wants to live stream with wireless, considering all the input lag that can happen from wireless? That's why I don't use the Switch Joy-Cons very much, because I don't trust the lag, saying the input lag and such like that. I try to keep everything wired all the way through. Try the freedom of untethered retro gaming. But it's very interesting because, yeah. So just like the 2600 Plus, it will play 7800 games, but it also play 2600 games, which is very interesting. It's very interesting. Although I was more in favor of the 2600 when I decided to scoop that up for the show. But but the 2600, 7800. Here's the thing about 7800 cartridges: they're very hard to find out in the market, out in the collector's market. At least in my neck of the woods. Saying the ones that I find common, the most common is always Pole Position and Miss Pac-Man, and the ones that are big named, like say Karateka, really can get expensive, very 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 expensive in the collector's market. That's why I was more than happy to have had the Atari 2600 Plus, but it's kind of like a tall order to ask. It's a kind of like a tall order to ask. I would definitely not pick it up, especially since the 2800 could play 7800 game cartridges. Uh, but I don't know if this is really a good idea. There has to be something. I mean, there's got to be something more to it. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Atari 2600 Plus is going to always play 7800 games, I see no reason for me to scoop this system up. It's kind of it feels like a waste from my end. But there's also another issue that I'm having, and that is that there's supposed to be an update patch for the 2600 Plus, and it hasn't happened yet. Because I'm having a tough time playing games like Karateka and Pole Position, because they need the updates, the firmware update, and I don't even know if it's the last time I checked was a couple of months ago, so I'm still, and I don't even see it here on the website, because I've been looking up and down their website and I haven't seen it at all. Uh, uh, so that way I can be able to play some more Atari 2600 games. Let's see here. What is this here? Plays both 2600 7800 cartridges, near perfect compatibility with original third party Atari games. Includes the new wireless CX78 Plus gamepad for all your 2-button gaming needs. So this is an entirely new design that they got going here. Easily connects to any screen via HDMI, widescreen 4:3 display. It includes Bentley Bear's newest 7800, Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest, which honestly, for 129.99, I don't know, for one game. I walked out with 10 games buying the Atari 2600 Plus console, which was a great deal for the same exact price, 120. That's the other thing too. It's the price. It's 129.99. That's the same price I paid for the 2600 Plus, and walked out with 10 games. It's available for pre-order. Ships this year. It comes with the game console, the gamepad, one game, HDMI, C power cable, and fun, which I have no doubt. But how much are some of these games going for? See, $30 for Berserk, Bounty Bob Strikes Back. It's $30. So all of these are clocking in at $30. I don't know that's really worth the value, worth the price for all of that. Not for the 7800. Honestly, this is too old. Design inspired by the original color spectrum style of the original European 7800 with aluminum touch plate, rib design, and illuminated power button. Interesting. And especially since I could play the 7800 cartridge on the 2600. 7800 console takes place among other 80s design icons like shoulder pads, crop tops. So yeah, it is very retro. The Atari Plus platform games and accessories backwards and forward compatible, which is great. You know what I'm saying? And are also compatible with most original accessories and cartridges, if you still have them. I don't. It's a brand new game. Okay, I mean that's fair enough. That's a whole new game. Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest included. So, it's a powerful side-scrolling platformer as opposed to the isometric single-stage arcade version of Crystal Quest, I guess. Soundtrack and SFX that utilize the power of the 7800 Plus, included with every 7800 Plus console. I mean, fair. It's a whole new game and it's a platformer, but I don't know. Especially for I don't know. Two systems in one, of course. 26 and 7800 includes Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest cartridge, HDMI ready, which is great. I don't know. I mean, I felt like the 2600 Plus was just a nice little nostalgic gimmick for Atari. I didn't expect them to really tap into all of this. Honestly, I was expecting them to actually create a whole Atari system that would have played all the Atari games in some capacity. Let's see, Rockchip 3128 SoC microprocessor. It's got all these wired plastics. Yeah, that's about as far as they're gonna go with the specifications. Software Stella. The 7800 Plus utilizes the open source emulation software Stella. Visit the Stella GitHub to learn more about Stella. In fact, I'm curious now. If that's the case, maybe they might have a site to learn more about ProSystem. Participate in the project. FAQs. Let's see here. Absolutely 7800 Plus. Oh, okay. Okay. So, 7800 Plus could play both Atari original 2600, Atari 7800 cartridges, and new cartridges from our Atari XP program. So they got a whole new because they have the XP program where they're doing games for the Atari XP, and it could be played on that. Okay, so you could play three types of cartridges. All right. How is it different from the original 7800? We've enhanced the 2600 Plus from the original the following ways. I think they meant 7800 Plus. That means they copy pasted. They must have copy pasted this. HDMI output makes it easy to connect. Widescreen mode, 80% original size, and large cartridge socket reduces sticking. 7800 Plus smaller than the original, 80% of the original size. Let's see here. Retains the iconic look, feel. That's nice. Can I use the CX 40 Plus joystick and 30 Plus paddles with the original 26 and 7800? Yes. The CX40 Plus joystick and CX30 Plus paddle controllers have DB9 connectors and are compatible with Atari's original Atari hardware. Okay, that's nice. That's good. Okay. You could play those. I don't know why I said Jaguar. I read that as Jaguar. It's joystick. Use emulation software to play game cartridges. Yeah, 7800 Plus use emulation technology to play game cartridges. View the compatibility list here. They don't have that link. Why doesn't my 7800 come with a wall charging plug? Yes, we need to answer these questions here. This particular question, because everybody does it now. Consistent with other consumer electronic manufacturers like Apple, Atari does not include a USB-C wall charging plug with the product as one. Compatibility differs across global markets with different power requirements. and two, to minimize unnecessary waste, since many consumers have spare wall charging plugs available. You can never have enough spare wall plugging charging plugs available. That is a categorical fact that having that kind of redundancy is a necessity, because you do not want to have less. Um, the first part I could understand, because everybody's got the because everyone's got different voltage of outlets, from country to country. Saying PAL territory, then you have the NTSC territory, which is Japan and the US, and so on. This is a logical one. This one makes no sense to me. To minimize unnecessary waste, since many consumers have spare wall charging plugs available. Like that, what a great assumption to make. That is the most dumb assumption to make of people. I wish these companies would stop doing that. People have money, they'll buy PS3s because they got money. But really, that stop it. But here's the thing. I don't think this was really necessary. You know what I'm saying? It is nostalgia bait, like the Atari 2600. But the Atari 2600 was a little bit more unique because it was the peak NES of the early 80s in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were buying that stuff, and people like Purina, who makes dog food in the United States, was making video games for the Atari 2600. That's how big the 2600 is. Many of us who didn't get the 7800 plus, like me, jumped right into the NES when that system came out, and the 7800 plus was an afterthought. Those who do have it, I don't know if who had it or who still have it are gonna bother getting this, because most people, walked away from video games after North American crash, and those who and the only ones who jumped on the NES was my group, my age group, because we weren't teenagers yet. We were still under 10, and we wanted to play more video games. We didn't know about the crash or cared about the politics that was going on with Atari and Activision and Nintendo at that time. We just wanted to play video games. Those who were teenagers grew out of that in a heartbeat. The second the Atari the entire market crashed in the early 80s in 1983. So, with regards to the 7800 plus, a lot of us didn't even bat an eye on that. Those of us who were on Nintendo, those who were paying attention to it, I don't know how much the sales generated. Let's see what the sales were. Let me see here. Maybe we could get an idea what the sales were. Let me dig that up. Because it's very like, the criticism that it's niche is justified, because it's playing on nostalgia, and I didn't have a problem with the Atari 2600, but the Atari 7800 never really connected with me. What was its final sales totals? Let's see. I'm trying to see what its final sales totals is. Pole Position 2 was the packed-in game. I actually got my hands on a copy for this 2600 plus. Let's see here. It lasted into 1992. That's pretty impressive. Let's see. I'm just trying to see here at Wikipedia. Just to get a guesstimate from Wikipedia. An idea of where. Yeah, and the thing about the 7800 was that it was backwards compatible to the 2600, which was all nice and everything, but Atari was just too late by the time they got this out. Nintendo just had too much of a kung fu grip on the whole thing. Let's see. Yeah, it came out in 1986. Nintendo was already gaining steam. It doesn't show here. All right, let me pull this up here. Atari 7800 sales. Sales. Stop in caps lock here. Here we are. 7800 sales figures. Here we go. Here we are. Okay, 7800 sales figures from 86 to 90. It was discontinued in 92. So, according to them, 3.77 million sold. Retailer shipments, sorry. 3.77 million got shipped. And fewer than 152,000 units were returned to Atari. That's not too bad. So, with a 2600 sold almost 8 million units in 82, like I said, and has sold 30 million units worldwide as of 2004. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, they're relying on Wikipedia like I was. But what was the file? Let's see. 97 million. Okay. Okay, so 97 million. But so it had a good number of sales, I guess. 3.77 million against Nintendo's God knows how many millions on the NES. So, yeah, to my point, yeah, to my point, um, who's out there for the 7800? It's not really much. It's really niche. Great for collectors, those who like to do console collecting. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Those who love to collect consoles, this is definitely up their alley. Um, if they're interested, of course. But if Atari's expecting to bring in those of us who jump from the 2600 to the NES, that's not going to really happen. That's something that's not going to really happen, quite honestly, because when we moved over to the NES, we didn't move anywhere else except to the next big console, and that was the Genesis or the TurboGrafx 16 or the Master System, like I did. You know, we started move. We got pat. We just didn't care for Atari, you know, at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we still had our 2600s, we were playing it up to a certain point. We were just moving along. You know what I mean? Atari just really screwed up royally on their end. They would have had something big, but yeah. If I was Atari, I would have just built a whole new system. Quite honestly, if you wanted to get into if you wanted to do like the retro, like if you wanted to do the retro console market, you know what I mean? Do like what Nintendo's doing, where Xbox and Sony are here fighting each other. Nintendo's over here. Atari could have come over here and done the retro market instead of doing a 7800 plus. They should have created something that would have like a whole new retro Atari system that would have definitely been focused on not just only all their back catalogs, but also all future catalogs, especially some of the acquisitions they made, from what I understand, as well as return tapping into some of their other properties like Alone in the Dark. Make some new stuff like that. Like I would expect them to go that route. You know what I'm saying? And just run parallel. Say that they're just tapping into the retro market for retro collectors, which would have worked, honestly, because there are retro collectors out there who would have loved to, who probably would have liked to have snatch it up, even if it means they get to play some games like Alone in the Dark, and games that they couldn't get their hands on, even if it's not physical, at the very least, but also add to the collections. I probably would have. I don't know. I probably would have. Who knows? But we'll never know because they decided to do this. They decided to do this, and that's a bold move, honestly. Even if they are adding new games like Bentley's Crystal Quest. Keep in mind, this is Bentley's Crystal Quest. Let me bring this up here. They'll show it on the screen here. This is Bentley's Crystal Quest. All right, that's a new game, entirely new game. It's basically retro styled. It's not actual retro. It's just retro stylized. And even though retro stylized is a big thing, which is very true, I don't believe people are going to really buy 7800 plus to get this console exclusive retro styled game that costs $30. I don't think the people are in the market for something like that. Especially when once again the 7800 plus is going to be as bare bones as the 2600 plus. It's going to be as bare bones as a 7800 plus, even if it does the Atari XP brand of cartridges as well. You're asking people to play something like this again. You know what I'm saying? Like that. This whole stick figured, near stick figured stylized um, gaming. I mean, this doesn't even come off like an NES. It really does come off very, very like pre NES. Well, that's not true because Famicom came out around that time, around '83, and had that kind of. But the point is that it's not asking the question of who's the target audience, because retro gamers are going to be looking for a full-on compilation, not a whole new console. Saying maybe console collectors will be looking for it. Like I said, this is right up their alley. If console collectors want to add something to their console collection and put it up there, but they're so small, but they're so few and wide compared to those who are coveting the PS5. If you're trying to tap into the PS5 player, and they're clearly not. But it feels like they're trying to tap into something. They're probably seeing something that we're not seeing. Especially I'm not seeing. Particularly me. I'm probably not seeing it. That they believe that doing, another 7800, doing another Atari Plus console, and having people recollect would, I don't know. But at $130 again, niche is niche, but I don't think this is gonna amount to much. If I'm Atari, I would just leave it at niche. Leave this at niche. You know what I'm saying? And come up with a console. Like, let this be for the niche crowd. Those who are nostalgic, those who want to be, console collectors, and they want to have the Atari 7800 plus to sit alongside the original Atari 7800. You know what I mean? And interested in trying out some of these things. Like, I would stay focused on that, but I would create another. If I were to do another Atari console, I would go for the all-in-one. I would go for the all-in-one. Just let it play. Just let it play all the console cartridges in one whole thing, but bring it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but bring it to a point that it could play Atari Jaguar games, games that were released on consoles like PlayStation, Nintendo, like Alone in the Dark. You know what I'm saying? I would focus on that, on doing it like that, and put it all on one thing. You know what I'm saying? And you can still do this, create new games like Bentley's Crystal Quest for that new console. I would still go lean into that. I would still lean into that, but not this. You know what I'm saying? Because then somebody tells me that they're gonna do the Atari 5200. Well, they skipped the 5200. But somebody tells me they're gonna do the XE, and then the Jaguar, and I just don't think that's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It's, it'll work as a collector's market, which is good if they lean into that. But the fact that they're creating new games, it's telling me that they wanna, that they're trying to do more with it than. Like they're trying to get a crowd that I don't know is large enough to really sustain. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I just don't think they have a large enough crowd. Nostalgia and retro can only take you so far. And you put and not only that, but you're doing a system that, like I said, for many of us, this came out in 1986. The NES happened in 1986, and many of us were still playing our 2600s by this point. Those of us who are of my age group, my age bracket in 1986. We jumped into the NES and completely ignored the 7800. So I don't know who the 7800 is gonna target beyond retro collectors. Beyond that, and if they're just focused on retro collectors, good. good. Then you'll do fine. But I don't know. It's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. That's a tough one. So, yeah, yeah. Introducing the Atari 7800 Plus. Um, it's niche. It's niche. It's niche. Was it niche? Niche? You comment down below. Niche or niche? Because everybody seems to have a debate. Then somebody be like, no, don't do that. It'll cause a flame word. Oh my gosh, don't. Am I gonna pick this up? No, because like I said, my age bracket back in 1986 jumped right into the NES from the 2600. Anybody who went to the 7800 had their cool. But I know that many in my age bracket in my neck of the woods went from 2600 to Nintendo in a heartbeat. 7800 was just irrelevant. So yeah, there we go. Those are my thoughts. So comment, like, subscribe, follow. I know you want to. Head on over to Amazon.com and grab yourself a copy of The Impossible and Strange Fantasy Novel written by me. You'll find the links to the book down below, along with links to other merch such as pins, t-shirts, stickers, music. Please enjoy my products. Thank you for your patronage. And if you're interested, you can join me on my live multi-stream on Twitch and Kick. Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room, hanging out. So, until the next set of thoughts, thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night. Say buenas noches and oisu minasai.